His older brother was a junior in high school, and they had a kind of a conference game. So we're all getting ready to go, and he's in the living room playing football. He does this thing when Norman's not home where Iron Man. So he throws the ball as quarterback, catches the ball, receiver, and then tackles himself. Sometimes a couch comes into play, and we have hardwood floors that are really slick. The girls are playing. I'm in the shower, and they come running in and say, something's wrong with Derik. So, you run out, and he's sitting on the couch, and he's just screaming in agony, a kid. And so I'm not only a mother, but an EMT in the past. And I said, well, he goes, it just hurts from my hip down to my toes.
Went to the doctor the next day. They said that there's no way this could have happened just playing football by myself in the room. That I had to be either beaten by my mom or that I was in a car accident or something really major. And it's something that couldn't just happen just by running.
They just reset it, cast him. I said, well, okay. Went back, that was October. December went back, took the cast off, and I'm looking at him, and we've been seeing her every week now for a while, so we're kind of friends. And I said, Dr. Bassett, that looks kind of weird. She goes, it looks weird, because it is weird. She goes, it's not healed. He'd been in a wheelchair, and you don't have great circulation in the lower limbs, but usually younger kids heal in 3 months. And so she said, let's do a surgery, to get some cadaver bone in there, maybe scrape off those scar tissues I saw. Still didn't run blood tests, still didn't do scans or anything. And did that surgery, took off the cast again in February this time. Still, I said, it looks broken. She goes, it is broken. So she did another surgery, and then one more before Easter, still not healed. She kind of milked along still, and not to default her. Dr. Bassett and I are still good friends. It was a 7-year-old boy, broke his leg playing football. What do you look for? He's not, sickly, malnourished. So we go in August, and that feeling you get when parents know, she goes, you need to go to Denver Children's as soon as possible.
So they sent me down to Denver Children's Hospital, and the doctors immediately came in and said, hey, we need to amputate this leg now. You have cancer, NF1, and pseudoarthrosis of the tibia, and we have to amputate the leg now.
And they say amputate about, how you're getting all this new information, and the one word you catch is amputate. And I said, isn't that a little barbaric? And they said, well, this lesion and this can lead to this, and it can transgress into just vomiting bad things at me.
I don't remember this, but my mom told me that I brought up my leg and started crying. I said, no, you cannot take my leg from me. This is not normal. And so we went to the doctor a couple more times, and I told Mom that I want to try to keep my leg as far as I can, just be like people in my class.
So I got on the internet, and I'm a researcher by trade. Found a couple doctors. Mom, his grandmother, said try Shriners. So we went for a second opinion back down to Denver. They said the same thing. They wanted to do it immediately.
I was just tired of being in the hospital and missing school. So I just wanted to be out there like my friends were. And so there was probably a week before my amputation, and my mom brought out this psychologist. I didn't know at the time that he was a psychologist. I thought he was just trying to be my best friend. But it was just this older guy that came out and played catch with me and was making sure I was okay with this decision, and just asking me all these questions. And I passed, but I think the main goal was just to be like other kids, whether if that was with an amputation, that I just wanted to get back out there and play. So after the amputation on April 24th, 2012, I decided to amputate my leg, and by the next fall I was playing football again. So the week after I got my leg amputated, I told Mom that I just needed some alone time, kind of not to get away from everybody, but just kind of relax and just kind of stay away from school, get everything back to normal. So I went camping with my grandmother out in Nebraska, and there was a we were sitting out there at night, and jeez. there was a point where I thought I made the wrong decision. So I called Mom. It was probably about by 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, somewhat early, but still a little bit later. And I called her and I said, "Mom, is there anything that you can do to get my leg back? I think I made the wrong decision. I really want it back. Is there anything that you could do?" And she told me that it was what God wanted. And then she told me that with the goals I wanted to play college football and be any type of athlete, that this is what would had to happen. So after that night, after hearing that from her, I realized that there was no going back. There was no way that the surgeons could sew my foot back on. There's no going back after that. And after the amputation, there's nothing you could do.
You know, the leg's gone. That's not part of him anymore. But yet, sometimes he gets a little sad or unrecognized when everything is about the leg. You know, it's not all about the leg. He's a good-looking kid. He's got, you know, these blue eyes that look at you, and he's smart and gregarious and, you know, quiet sometimes. And it's the whole package. It's not the missing piece. It's, you know, look at what's left.
So his cousin went to Edwardsburg, so we had heard a little bit about like that he had a prosthetic leg. You know, he's coming from Wyoming, but I had no clue like how big he was gonna be. And at our first practice, we were just running through drills and whatever, and Derik gets hit and his leg pops off. Like his entire like prosthetic leg pops off, and practice just kind of like stopped. We all look over, we're like what's going on? And like knowing Derik as I do now, like it makes a lot of sense. But he just laughed and put it back on and said, "All right, guys, like let's keep going."
I got a lot of track scholarships for Paralympic track. I got one from University of Arizona and then one from University of Texas at Arlington, which are D1 schools. But they weren't offering that football, and so I decided to go to Division III and look at what my options were. And luckily, Hope looked at me.
Our former defense coordinator and dear friend Mike Ricketts walked down to my office in DeVos, and he came into my office and said, "Hey, I want you to look at a player because we always evaluate guys on film. He's from Edwardsburg." He said, "Just take a look at him." So we watched him, and I said, "Wow, big kid. Yeah, he does pretty well with defense. Yeah, I mean, we'll take a look at him. Maybe we should bring him down." He goes, "What if I told you he had a prosthetic leg?" I said, "Let's get him down for a visit."
Coach Sturz was not sure of me playing here first, so I had to lead and say I will do anything. I will play any position I can just to get on the field. And the Thursday before fall camp, he texted me and he said, "Derik, one guy dropped out. We need you to play offensive line." Even though I've never played offensive line, he said, "This is your only opportunity. If you want to come play with us, you can play offensive line." So just hearing, because that was at 7 a.m. in the morning, I woke up to an email and I was jumping around in my kitchen and told Mom that I've made college football, and so it was just like it's just a dream come true.
And he kind of came in and we started immediately talking about the multi-events in track and field, which is really ambitious for anybody. And he wanted to, and he was talking about the decathlon and the kind of things that he could do with that. And so you're talking not just track and field, you're talking about doing 10 different events in track and field. And I was immediately intrigued and thought that'd be kind of fun, because I've always had a special place in my heart for those multi-eventers who want to try to do everything in track and field. They're track nuts. Courage is overcoming obstacles, and what greater obstacle in sports than to not have the same physical benefits that everybody else is, and overcoming an obstacle like that is amazing. But it's not like with him, it's not like I'm constantly thinking, how can we do this with one leg? I've got a great athlete. How can we do better?
So many days after practice, we get done with practice, it's fall camp, it's hot. Our guys are ready to get off the field. As Derik's walking by, he'll say, "Hey coach, thanks for the opportunity." And he would do this on a consistent basis. And I remember finally stopping him and saying, "Derik, stop thanking me. Can we just say thank you to you? Because what you provide, this program, our campus, our players, the locker room, the culture of our team, what you provide is inspiration." And I know he doesn't always like to think of himself that way, but he does. He does that in a way that the way he carries himself, he's just one of those, he's got a magnetic personality, and he's just so humble about what he does. But I think his impact on us I don't really think you can quantify it.
Seeing Derik go that extra mile to even be on the team, because for a while I don't think he was really thinking about playing football at the college level. He just wanted to do track, and he works incredibly hard and worked really hard to get on the football team. And I think just that daily reminder that if he can work that hard, then so can we.
After college, I plan to be a teacher in the physical education and health field, but also I plan to compete at the Paralympics, either in Paris 2024 or LA in 2028. I really believe that if whatever happened for a reason, and that's what God decided to do, and so that him allowing this to happen, that he would make something big happen at the end.
Life is messy and ugly and amputated and pieces, missing parts in everybody's heart and mind and goals, and we all have courage. I have to believe, if we're going to go forward in this world, that everyone has courage. We are all given it. We need to use it more often.